Yo, what is going on today, everybody, and welcome back to another Fortnite Chapter 4 video. Today, what I've got for you is the 5th week of the Solo Victory Cash Cup qualifiers. In a way, life is like a deck of cards. You get given a hand that you have to play, whether it be good or bad. In today's video, I get dealt the bad deck of cards. So I feel like you're going to really enjoy this video if you feel like you get bad luck in tournaments, because I'm going to be going over everything that I did right and everything that I did wrong, and what to do in these situations in tournaments if you just get dealt a very bad hand. Shout out to all the recent subs and all of the amazing support recently. I see everything and you guys are amazing. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and as always, thank you so much to those who are using code JCMYT in your Fortnite item shop. Also, as a reminder that I have in every single one of my videos, I am playing on 50 ping, and at this high of a level of competition, that is a major disadvantage. Whenever I'm fighting a player with lower ping than me, their weapons are swapping faster than mine are because of their lower ping, as well as the fact that I cannot take their walls. So going into this, I'm already at a disadvantage, and on top of it, I get dealt the bad hand of cards. So jumping straight into the first game of my tournament, immediately in my first match, I'm already getting struck by bad luck. Last week I qualified, but barely. I made top 900 and I made it to finals. So after I did that, I was like, okay, I may want to consider switching up my drop spot and trying to get a hammer in more of my matches. And let me tell you what, I could have not picked a worse spot, because 8 people, and I counted them out individually, 8 people were landing at this spot. If this isn't a sign that this competitive season is heavy on luck, then I don't know what is. I've been able to qualify to finals in most of these cash cups, even when I only get like 3 hammers out of my 10 matches. But 8 people at one drop spot is crazy. This puts me at a pretty scuffed start for this first game. However, I do end up making late game with impulses and the aerialist augment. Keep in mind that the new shadow bomb perk that allows you to get shadow bombs got vaulted one day before this tournament, and that made me really unhappy because I was excited that there was going to be less RNG involved. I would be able to actually have mobility if I didn't have the luck to find these hammers, and it got vaulted. So I am in this late game of my first match with impulses and the aerialist augment. You're going to need to wish me luck. Bro, that is exactly why getting a hammer in the first match of your tournament is a massive deal. Because if you don't place well in your first match, you do not get bumped up into the higher elo lobbies, which means you're going to get stuck in low skill lobbies where people just W key for no reason. Allow me to remind you that the points format is only 1 point per kill. However, you can get up to 30 placement points, and qualification is looking like 108 points to get up in the top 1,000 and make it to finals. And right there in that end game, I could not get away from people just trying to nosedive into my box. If I had a hammer, I would have had a way better rotate, and that just would not have happened. Keep in mind, I'm on 50 ping, so fighting is not usually an optimal decision for me. It doesn't mean that I have bad mechanics, it just means that everyone else has a literal advantage over me. From that moment, I got stuck in the lowest elo lobbies of the tournament, and the bad luck just continued to happen. In game number 2, a guy ends up W keying me after he already has a hammer, which tells me that he is a low ping demon, because if he's taking fights in a tournament where placement points is pretty much all that matters, after he already has a hammer, either he is the stupidest person alive or he just has really good freaking internet. And that's exactly what it was. He just sprays through my wood wall with an SMG and I die. In game 3, I end up picking up a kill. This guy was absolutely lost. Again, I'm in low elo because I'm getting stuck with the worst players of the tournament. And actually, I find a hammer this game. So I'm just trying to chill when out of nowhere, this guy pushes my bush. I don't even know how he knows I'm in the bush, but he does. And he already has a hammer, and guess what he's doing? He's W keying players for 1 point per kill. He eventually just ends up catching up to me and just taking my wall first try, and then I'm dead. It's either have really good internet and be stupid, or have terrible internet and get the best luck of your life to qualify in these tournaments. So now I am in a position where I am in my 4th match with less than 20 points. I'm basically in a position where I have to get a lot of kills in these coming games if I want any chance of qualifying. So in game 4, I catch a couple of kills. kid is so dumb, bro. Hit 4 floppers though, that's why he was fighting me probably. I was actually doing a decent job here in game 4 of getting some of those eliminations, and this was shaping out to be a really good match. You are about to witness the biggest choke of anyone that you've ever watched play a Fortnite tournament. This was one of the few moments of my tournament where I actually was to blame. Have you ever fought an opponent that you know was worse than you, and despite you being leagues better than them at the game, you still slip up and let them kill you? Yeah, that's exactly what happened here. Yeah, Mythic Pistol's fair, dude. I just got caught sleeping on this kid. He was clearly terrible, but I just played it so bad. When I saw that I had a big damage lead on this guy, I just fell asleep when I was fighting him. And not to make any excuses, but I was already pretty set off by the first couple of matches. This just did not help matters whatsoever. Going into what I believe was my 5th match, I actually end up getting the refresh I need. I end up killing a guy off spawn. The second fight that I decide to take, the guy has a hammer. So even though I haven't found a hammer in like 4 of my matches, I do end up killing this player, getting his hammer, and finally, we have an endgame on our hands. Oh my god. Oh my god, he's cheating. No, man. So we got a 9th place with 2 kills. Not a crazy game in any stretch of the imagination. We needed that game to be a top 3, preferably a win, if I wanted to jump back up where I wanted to be in qualification range on the leaderboard. I end up making it to late game with impulses, so not the worst situation. You know, I could have a hammer if I had a little bit of luck, but you know, can't get everything you want in this world. And at that moment, I get a max zone pull for half and half. Not only do I not have the hammer, but there are like 5 people where I am. So when I try to make this rotation best I can with the impulses, this absolute idiot who must have like 0 competitive experience and doesn't have eyeballs just fails to see that zone pulls max and decides to take a fight. And of course, odds are he just has better internet than me, so guess who gets punished for it? Like sure, I could take this as, you know, some constructive criticism and maybe I should have built 2 boxes instead of sitting in 1. But come on, bro, we have a max zone pull and you're looking to fight? Especially if you have a hammer with kills only being 1 point, like this guy has 0 reason to start this fight with me. So far in this tournament, tournament, I've already tried out 2 of the drop spots that I'm most familiar with, but I am so sick and tired of not getting a dang hammer that in game 7 right here, I'm experimenting a new drop spot that I've been thinking about. I was expecting this area to be a little bit more contested, but I got lucky this game and nobody landed on me. And unfortunately, out of 2 Oathbound chests, guess who did not get a hammer? I'm starting to think that this game just doesn't want my account to have a hammer. It's actually crazy. And this is where a lot of pros are complaining, because Chapter 4 Season 1 in competitive is pretty RNG based, and I think I would have to agree with that. It's almost as if Epic Games wants people with bad luck to just be bad at the game. But what do you know, when I get uncontested and even without a hammer, I end up making it to late game. I have impulses, so not all hope is gone. I even end up picking up a kill on this guy that was W-keying the lobby. I absolutely destroyed him. So after that kill right there, I'm looking pretty set up to make it pretty far into this match. I'm gonna let you guys see what happens now, and I'll come back with some comments soon. No, man! That moment right there was probably the most important moment in the entire tournament. For some reason, on God's green earth, this absolute drone decides to push into Storm to fight me in this late game as I was picking up a hammer. I had no problem with being in Storm at this point in time, and unfortunately, I did get sent into Storm because someone's hammer hit me. There's literally nothing I could have done about that. But I'm like, alright, this is cool, because there's dead loot right there, and it has a hammer on it, and I have chug splashes, so I could just sit in Storm for a second, grab the hammer, and then hit the chugs. But this absolute nobody had different plans for me, so he decides to just full send at me in Storm. I still get my chugs off, obviously, and I try to hammer back in, but man, I'm just gonna give you guys the honest truth. This has been the most unlucky tournament that I've had. Going into game 8, I get into a pretty random fight with this guy early on into the match, and I was absolutely working this guy. That was a perfect match to show you guys exactly why this ping disadvantage I have is brutal. What it took to get that player's wall was for him to not be holding his map out and for him to shoot and deal damage to me. That was the only time I was able to take his wall. And then even when I do, he already has his stair reset and he goes up and I lose. I tried multiple times taking his wall, and even though I was working him, I have the worst internet, so I lose. So now we only have 2 matches left and 61 points. I want to give a shout out to all of the people who watched my previous qual round where I actually did qualify to finals, because at this point in the tournament in that previous one, I was in the same position I am here. I'm at 61 points with 2 games left, which means it's very unlikely that I will qual. Last week I was able to pull it out, so can I do it again this week? Well, you are absolutely not going to believe this. In my second to last game, I have a hammer, and I make late game. Is this going to be a repeat of last weekend where I absolutely make an insane comeback? I'm gonna let you guys watch to find out. One last thing that I need to say before you watch what happens right here. So as you guys know, the theme of this video up to this point was bad luck. I am sitting in the middle of the zone on top of a mountain in a fully built metal box. And there's a couple other people around me chilling in their 1x1s as well. I'm not editing anything, right? So no one has any reason to try to take shots at me. This guy next to me randomly shoots his pistol at my wall. Absolutely no reason. I didn't open an edit. I didn't shoot at him. I'm just chilling, like absolutely chilling. When this guy opens up and shoots my wall, 3 other people around him all decided, oh, let me just also shoot at this guy. Like, what is actually going on? The entire lobby ends up focusing me because one person shot my wall, so everyone's like, oh, he must be one shot. Let me just tune in. Like, no, bro, I'm not one shot. I'm chilling. But yeah, for whatever reason, this guy just, he didn't like the way I smelled, apparently. And it gets me lobby focused, so I try to hammer away. And despite hammering down and getting everyone else off of me, he puts himself in a worse position because he know he got me lobby focused. He already has a hammer, and he's set up to win the match. But you know what he cares about? 1 kill point. That's what he cares about. 1 kill point on the leaderboard. So at this point, it's practically impossible for me to qualify. However, I am not a bad sport. I still play out my last match because, you know, I like to take every practice opportunity I can. And what do you know? In my last match that I play, I end up getting a hammer and I end up getting the best match of my entire tournament. Just for it not to matter because I already can't qualify. Ladies and gentlemen, upon not qualifying for this weekend's finals due to some absolute luck, I'm gonna leave you off with this absolute banger of a game. This is kind of like a little reward for you sitting all the way through the video. So I hope you guys enjoyed this last game and hope you're not crying too hard over there because, yeah, I'm unlucky and I know it's sad. So don't cry too hard for me. Enjoy this final match and I'll talk to you afterwards. No. Huh. Well, would you look at that? It's almost as if to get a top 5 in solos, you have to have good enough luck to get a hammer. Please pray for me. We ended off on 90 points, which wasn't even my worst tournament of the season, if you can believe it. If I can just get hammers more consistently next weekend, I have full confidence that I can qualify again. So far, we've qualified to finals twice out of the 5. I should have been able to qual today, honestly, but I just did not have the luck. Definitely a lot of things that I need to make improvements on. Hey, even your favorite pro player has a bad day. Regardless, I hope you guys really loved the video. If you did, please be sure to show me by dropping a like and comment the heart emoji in the comment section if you made it to this point so I can see who the real ones are. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys have a fantastic day. If you want to watch another video of mine, it's on screen right now. That'd mean a lot to me. I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's been your boy JCM. Peace.